Hello and welcome to the NUFC 360 podcast. You've got myself, Alan, and Mikey joining me from all around the world. And we're here to discuss what was Newcastle United 0 and Manchester United 0. Lads, what did you think of the game? How did you think we played? Was it what you expected? What do you think?
I was pleased that they started with the same 11. It gives those lads a chance to, get a bit of continuity going. So that was nice. Obviously, apart from Joe Linton, so I was pleased with that. Less pleased as the game went on, but I was pleased with the starting 11.
Yeah, what about you, Alan?
Well, I mean, I was sitting in a place full of Man United fans, so I was just keeping quiet most of the time. I was literally the only Newcastle fan there, so I was like wearing a Newcastle shirt. Everybody else is wearing a Man U shirt.
Well, it's an impressive. It's a bit of dedication, right? Because where are you? Where are you based at?
In Malaysia.
So you're in Malaysia, the only Newcastle fan in a bar full of Man United fans. And what time of day is it?
Match started at 9 p.m.
Woo! All right, respect for that one.
Definitely.
Well, at least, after 7 years, I think it was, of not getting anything at Old Trafford, it's nice to finally come away with at least a point. But I've got to be honest, I wasn't massively confident looking at the lineup when we first started. I'm over in Phoenix, Arizona, so the game started at 6 a.m. for me. So I woke up at 5:30. Saw the group chat going off with Maxi out for another 3 games, Isak out for another 3 games.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm going to Old Trafford with Jacob Murphy in the lineup, I wasn't the most confident, although he's done well recently. So talk me through how the game, the run up to the game went for you both. Mikey, we'll start with you, and what your thoughts were on the lineup.
Well, obviously we were pleased that Bruno made it, because there was a lot of talk, because his wife apparently is about to give birth. So there was a lot. I don't know if that's true or not, if that's just one of our rumours. So that was nice. And then the Isak thing. So that kind of distracted from everything in a way, even though none of those were close to starting. And the Maxi thing as well. That was, we were led to believe yesterday that he was maybe going to be on the bench and he didn't make it. So Big Joe coming in, I can see why, and you can see why today. He really puts himself about that lad. He really is, he really, really works hard. So I was pleased with, that, as I said at the top of the show, I was pleased with the starting 11. I must admit, I don't think in the second half I was feeling that way, though. By the time about 10, 15 minutes in the second half, I felt that way. I wish we'd maybe started with different people. So
yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that game. We'll come on to that in a second. Alan, how about you? You're arriving at the bar in Malaysia, the only Newcastle fan in there. You look at the team lineup. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I was petrified, actually. I was like, no Maxi. Then I was like, Murphy on the left. Oof. Can we get a draw? Because I was going into it pretty positive, to be honest. I was, been playing pretty well lately, and then I was looking at the lineup. I was like, oh, can we get anything today? And, well, the lads proved me wrong, and I'm sure, some people wrong. So, yeah, all in all, pleased.
Well, let's get into that. It was, as we see in the bottom there, a game of 2 halves. I personally thought we were absolutely dominant in the first half without necessarily dominating possession. I haven't seen the stats yet, but it's the way it felt looking at it that, all right, we might not have had like 60, 70% like we have against, likes of Forest and Fulham and Brentford. But we played like we did a little bit against Liverpool, in my opinion. On the break, we were winning with the ball far up the field, and then on the break, just being lightning. I think we missed those big players. I think we missed Maxi a lot. Obviously, we touched on Jacob Murphy. He's limited. He gives his all, but he's limited. But I thought we did really well in the first half. The second was it's back to the wall at Old Trafford that we've seen multiple times before. So, Mikey, talk me through how you saw that first half going.
First half, yeah, really, really pleased. Like we have been in all our games, we were at it, we were on them, caused them problems. I mean, obviously, Joe Linton's double succession of header against the crossbar was, that was a moment. But the biggest moment, obviously, was Wilson, because, if that happens anywhere else on the pitch, that is a free kick. It's as simple as that. That is a free kick all day long. And don't get me wrong, I know, to be balanced, they should have had a penalty as well in the second half. but that was dreadful. I mean, that really was dreadful. I mean, Wilson, he's, certainly from one angle, he looked like he was sandwiched in between, but Varane comes across him. And, we were just like on top, really. And, they were all right for about 5 minutes, but then we kept them quiet. And then the second half really did, really did change, So we were unlucky to go in at 1-0, 0-0. I think if we'd gone in 1-0, that would have been a different second half, I think we would have seen.
Alan, talk to me, and maybe you can shed some light on this as to how does Joe Linton miss both of those? The first one I think is great. Like, he did really well to get the first one. The second one, I'm scoring that. Anyone's scoring that. Please explain to me and the people listening how Joe Linton has missed that.
To be honest, I was quite impressed. The fact that he managed to head it onto the same post twice.
Yeah, exactly the same play.
Within the same second. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive, crossbar challenge, you can hit it onto the same bloody position as, 1 second or 2 seconds. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive.
So I mean, being based here in the US, I follow a lot of the US sports networks on Twitter, and one of them called it a double doink, which I thought was fantastic. I've never referred to that, but exactly how it was, a double doink in the exact same spot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know how he's managed to do that. Alan, talk me through your second half. Like, the first half, you must have been pretty confident, right? The Man United fans quieted a little bit around you. But
the first half, everyone in the pub was, those Man United fans were nervy. They were biting the fingernails. They were panicking. Second half, I was the one that was panicking. I was like, oh my God, putting my hands in my head. We kept giving the ball away. We kept, we needed somebody like Shelby to just hold onto the ball, spray it somewhere, pass it, then win some free kicks. Slowly. I thought Kieran Trippier was getting a bit too nervous as well in the second half. He's usually the calm one, and that was a big surprise. Seeing Trippier panic a bit, that was quite.
I thought Trippier was fantastic. Honestly, I thought he had a great game. I thought maybe start the season he looked a little rusty after that injury, or maybe a little nervous. But like the last few weeks, he's been fantastic. I think he won man of the match as well. I'd have put him up there.
Yeah, he was fantastic, but I thought he just seemed a bit nervy in the second half.
Yeah,
because everybody kind of looks to him,
Yeah,
that there was that period just after that whole Ronaldo thing where he put the ball in the back of the net twice, and they're both obviously ruled out correctly. But after that, I felt like the ref let that go, and he shouldn't have. It changed the whole complexion of the game for about 10, 15 minutes. It was at that point they became dominant. I think the first couple of minutes of the second half, we actually started quite well. We kind of broke through their lines a little bit, but then as soon as that happened, it changed everything. And then, Mikey, tell me how Sean Longstaff is getting out of this game having not given away a penalty.
Oh, I don't know. Simple as that. I don't know. I mean, as much as, because over here I was watching, I had Sky Sports on in the background, and the little panel they had, they're saying that's definitely a penalty for Wilson's, and then they said that's definitely a penalty for the Longstaffs. Because I mean, I don't know how he got away with it. I do know how he got away with it. VAR doesn't work as well as we all would like it to be. It's as simple as that. I mean, we were very lucky, and the Ronaldo thing, like you said, that was. I think producer Mark said, didn't he, on our WhatsApp group, said that seemed to bring the Old Trafford crowd together, and they got behind, like any team, like any fans would, they got behind the team then, and that kind of lifted Manchester United a bit as well, because they felt wronged, I mean, not rightly wronged, but they felt aggrieved, as it were. So that didn't help us, and I mean, I don't know how it wasn't a pen, mate. I don't know. Again. It should have been 2 penalties, really.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Nothing like a sense of injustice to get
exactly.
Off his feet.
Yeah, well, anywhere's like that, isn't it?
It does lead me on to my next point I wanted to discuss, which was Jesus Christ, the Man United players moan a lot. Wow,
yeah,
I've never seen a more hated bunch of players in my life. There's not one player on that. Maybe Luke Shaw, but apart from Luke Shaw, there's not one player on that team I like. They're just moaning all the time. Oh, Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, don't
get me started on that. That little rat face.
I mean, he's just, I mean,
Alan, yeah. I mean, it's bad enough that you had to watch them, but you had to watch them with a Man United bar full of supporters. How was it there? Were they all getting on your back? Were they all saying it was as well?
Yeah. I think it's also this sense of entitlement as well, to be honest. They think they've been at the top for so long, and they think everything should go their way, that kind of thing, and when it doesn't go their way, then they start moaning like like babies and all this kind of stuff. So it was in a way I was like, well, laughing quietly inside. Don't want to make too much fuss, otherwise, I never know for the Man United fans,
Yeah.
And this real sense of entitlement really pisses me off. Definitely.
Entitlement is exactly the right word for it. Yeah. Ronaldo walking off, shaking his head, like consistently saying that he shouldn't be going off. I'd hate a player like that on our team. Mikey, do you think that? Yeah. What do you make of that? I think that's absolute bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good look. But then again, you don't want your player going off going, yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, thank you. No, I mean, it shows a bit of like that he gave a shit. And actually, at that point, there was no reason to take him off, really. So I kind of felt, that maybe he was a bit, I would have come off being a bit mystified rather than, I'd have been like, me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good look, is it? And, but I can see why he was maybe a bit annoyed. But again, it's that Ronaldo thing, the Ronaldo show where it covers over the cracks, really. Everyone would just, we shouldn't really focus on him. I mean, The fact is that we dropped away a lot. I mean, they put Fred on Bruno, which, we've got to find a way once that happens, which is going to happen more and more. The more people talk about Bruno, the more he's going to just have someone on him all the time. We've got to find a way around that, really. And, I mean, Ronaldo, he's Ronaldo, isn't he? I mean, I wouldn't want him in my team, which I know I'm going to get loads of shit about, but there we are.
You make a good point about Bruno. I thought he had a very quiet game for his standards. He tried a few balls that didn't come off. He battled away. It was good in the tackle, but it wasn't his outstanding game. But it does make me sort of think, we didn't play particularly well. We had an all right first half, but I don't think we were fantastic. We played a lot better. The second half we were pretty poor, I thought, in controlling the ball. But I only really remember them having one chance, which was that Rashford shot in the 94th minute, that header. So I mean, our Newcastle United now officially hard to beat.
Definitely. Similar as that. I mean, we had 10 through to us, 10 games, whatever, we only lost one of them, was 6th. We are definitely one of those teams now where teams are going to come to us and think we're going to have to work out really hard today and be really smart and, to get around this team. So, I think we definitely are one of those teams now that are, it's heartening after losing 4-0 last year. I know it was the Ronaldo show last year. It was his first game, but today we dug in when we needed to and really showed, that you're going to have to really be patient against a team like us now.
So I've got a stat here that says we've conceded 9 goals this season, which is the joint least alongside Man City.
Exactly.
Alan, we're actually a good defensive unit. What? How did that happen there?
Yeah, well, no Steve Bruce. Oh God, I mentioned his name again.
We've done what?
That's a fine.
13 minutes and just mentioned Steve Bruce. Good. All right. I'm glad Alan gets the time this week and not me.
No, my Man United friend that was sitting next to me, he said, "Wow, you guys really pressed very, very high." He was really shocked. Like we were literally pressing them, in De Gea's box a lot of the time, sometimes or around his area. So that really is crucial, I think, in the way we play. Of course, later on in the game, we start to get tired legs, and I think that's what really happened today. Probably we just got tired near the end.
Yeah. Dan Burn looks very tired towards the end now, doesn't he? Bless him.
I think Anthony gave him a bit of a run around as well. It was worrying me. He was on a yellow card from I think the 50th minute or 55th minute or something like that. Yeah, Anthony was just running at him, and he's not the fastest. I thought he had a good game, but I thought it was just dangerous leaving him on. He got done a couple of times by Anthony, and he looks a decent player. But I thought Target could have come on a little bit earlier. But that said, we haven't conceded. We've got a point out of it. Eddie Howe knows what he's doing. So
well, exactly, and I suppose it must have a bit to do with we've got Man U today, we've got Everton on Wednesday, then we play Spurs on Sunday. So maybe that has something to do with it. Trying to manage games, try and hope Dan doesn't pick up another yellow card. Hope that he doesn't make a mistake because we want to save Target's legs because maybe Target starts and he's not up to playing 30 minutes and then 90 and then maybe that was the reasoning behind it, but. Yeah, I mean, Dan did look like that. He did that in the Chelsea away last year. I mean, that goal they got right near the end was down to Dan being, he just looks buggered, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They put everything into it. I mean, like Alan said, and we've always said, we play so high and, our intensity, it's bound to take a toll. And we just don't have the players maybe to cover that, So,
Yeah. So up next is Everton. We're sitting 6th in the league, scored 17, conceded 9, only lost 1. And we're in there, by the time the Everton game comes around, we'll be in the third week of October to only have lost 1 game. What are you making of the form? What are you making of what do you think our chances are against Everton? Are we in an injury crisis? We had Bruno hobbling off a little bit. Shaw was in the wars again today. Talk to me a little bit about Everton and then about what you think is going on with the team in terms of injuries. I'll go with you, Mike. I'll go on, Alan.
I think when we're playing Everton at home, we can probably attack them a lot more. We can probably play target left back. Can probably shuffle the team around a little bit. Just because we're at home, we can probably definitely attack more. Everton lost again at the weekend, so we've definitely got. I think we can definitely win this one. Yeah, and of course we got our favourite friend Jordan Pickford in goal, who made another mistake in the Spurs match. So yeah, confident I am.
Confident going to Everton. What about you, Mikey? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying about an injury crisis, maybe if something happened to Bruno, something happened to Wilson right now, because Isak's going to be out, isn't he? So that would be a crisis. At the moment, we have a decent 11 to start with most games now, especially at home. So I'm not too frightened of it. I am frightened if Bruno suddenly got injured. I am frightened if Wilson got injured, really. And I mean, that would make me start having squeaky bum time, But I can see Everton will be a very different proposition because we're at home, and I think we're going to really, really want to put a lot on that one. It's one that we feel like we can win, especially after last year's, which was a great game last year. So not a crisis, but could be on the precipice.
Yeah, Earthling Carl says a solid point. Need a win midweek against the Toffees now. And I couldn't agree more. I thought it was a good result. Any point at Old Trafford after we haven't done anything there, I think it was 7 years. In my opinion, is good. It shows progression. I think we're on the right path. We didn't get beat. It's like if you can go to United and get a point, I think that's like you're looking at kind of European places, really. Like even if it's the Europa Conference, I think that's kind of a good barometer. The next game against Everton is the big one now. If we draw away to Man United and then go and win at home against Everton, what a great week!
Absolutely,
that's what you need to do. But it's a big week ahead, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I think we'll leave it there, lads. Unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No. I mean, that's it. I mean, a very, a hard fought point, I think is the best way of looking at that. And we were poor second half, but, we got, I don't think either team deserved to win that game, really. So, I think that was a fair result.
Great. Well, thank you very much, guys. Everyone watching. I think we're back on Monday with the match preview for the Everton game. So be sure to check out the NUFC 360 Twitter for that. Alan, Mikey, thanks as always, lads. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, cheers, bud.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.